What's up, guys? Welcome back to Between the Pylons. I'm John Camacho. Thank you so much for watching. And this is the first draft profile of the new year. Dusting off the cobwebs a little bit here. Really excited to get back into it. This is my time of the year. Draft season is what I absolutely love. I was supposed to actually start last week, but COVID got in the way. Starting this week, and I am super pumped to talk about Isaiah Spiller, who is a guy I've been on for a couple years now. He's a guy that I watched at Texas A&M and just absolutely loved really early on. I remember texting my friends about him, 2 years ago now. So finally seeing him come out, finally getting to watch him, finally getting to stack him up against a running back class that I would say overall from top to bottom is already looking to be a little bit better than it was last year. We are talking about a big bodied back. This dude is 6'1", 215 pounds, had a great final season at Texas A&M here. Nothing absolutely ridiculous by any means, but put up a good number of yards, receptions, all of those things. And really, to be honest, I don't think these stats do him justice to how good I really think he is. This is a guy who I genuinely believe might be my #1 running back when it's all said and done. Right now, he is like this close ahead of one other running back. I don't want to give anything away as my top guy, but that's not something that, it's early on. So we're going to talk about his skill set, where he's at. We'll get into that right now. We'll bring up his skill chart here. And when I look at his skill chart, I think, the first thing that really jumps out to you is his agility. This is a guy who is great in a phone booth. He is incredibly explosive, great lateral mobility, great ability to jump cut and explode out of the jump cut, which is something I really look at. Yeah, this is an elite grade. Just for those of you who don't watch my videos or don't know from last year, 7 and above is an elite grade for me. All right, anything from like 4.5, 5-ish to 7 is a good grade. It's a positive grade. Anything below 4.5 is a bad grade. So that's kind of where I'm at with this, with my grading system here. For me, what I think about when I talk about Isaiah Spiller is actually contact balance. I think that's probably my favorite skill set that he has. Again, an elite grade at 7.6. And for Isaiah Spiller, it is special. It's very Alvin Kamara-ish. Alvin Kamara is like my go-to example when I talk about somebody who just bounces off tacklers for no apparent reason. For Isaiah Spiller, there is an apparent reason. He's just big, strong, and doesn't go down super easily. And that all kind of goes into his contact balance. The first guy just doesn't bring him down. So to combine contact balance, which is a very important skill set for bigger body wide running backs and top end running backs, and agility, which an 8 and above for me, you really only see that in smaller, shiftier dudes. And granted, it is higher because I'm also accounting for the fact that he is 6'1", 225 pounds, 220 pounds, whatever he ends up weighing in as. That means something to me. So that combination of skills right there is a big part of why I absolutely love this dude, why I do think he will be a borderline first-round pick. I see him as no later, and then the top end of the second round is where he goes. Just depends if a running back goes in the first round at all. You just never know with stuff like that. Explosiveness is at a 5.3, and I really struggle with this grade because explosiveness is really where we get into his big negative, where we get into like the one thing that is going to take him out of the conversation of an elite prospect, and that is his long speed. He is a long strider, a guy who doesn't hit that top end speed consistently or really at all. I mean, it's just not his skill set. He has great short area quickness, and I have that grade up here too. It's an elite grade. He is really good at getting to the hole. He has great burst. His explosiveness in that first 5 to 10 yards, it is special in my opinion. I think it is really good. And to be fair, explosiveness for me does encompass a lot of different parts of a running back skill set, but his long speed, his ability to take it to the house is a big part of that. That's why I struggled with it a little bit, because he is so explosive, and originally it was a little bit of a higher grade, but then I had to go back and look. I'm like, man, I mean, I have to account for the fact that he doesn't have elite long speed, and that's kind of the biggest part of where I accounted for it. My final grade also comes from the 40 time, which I don't expect to be special either. So we'll get to that down the road when we have the combine and all these other things that go with it. Pass protection, I put it as a 4. I used to put it as a 5 when I just didn't have a good feel for it. And listen, I don't lie on these things. I don't try and make myself sound smarter than I am. I don't have a good feel for his pass protection. Maybe it's great, maybe it's not. I'm starting to put a 4 there, which is technically negative, but it's, you know, close to average as possible. It's just a, you know, wait and see. Maybe I change that later down when I you know, am able to see a little bit more games and watch a couple more games on him. Maybe it stays at 4. I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to end up with that. So that's just a wait and see grade for me a little bit. Hey, being honest here, that is what it is. Power 6.4. Yeah, he runs with great power. He's a big back. Now, he's not like the power back of the class or anything like that. I don't want to oversell what he is. I would probably guess that the power back of the class is probably going to be Robinson Jr. I just watched him a couple days ago, and he's like the classic power back guy. That's not Isaiah Spiller. Is truly a 3-down back. He runs with good power. He can run through people at times, but he can do it a lot of different ways. Pass catching 5. Just not a lot of pass catching snaps. His pass catching usage is very, very minimal. This is a checks the box grade for me, right? I have no illusions that he'll be, you know, a Alvin Kamara when it comes to pass catching. I have no illusions that he'll be an Austin Eckler. Like, that's not really what he is, but I think he'll be serviceable. I think you can throw the ball to him when you need to. Used sparingly in college, to say the least. So just not a huge part of his game, but not something I'm worried about either. Not something that takes away from him in my mind anyway. Runs with great patience. I love his ability to see a hole progress on the other side and just jump cut, explode through the lane. That probably wasn't planned. You know, the play was supposed to go this way. He jump cuts, gets to the other hole, and he's off to the races, which again, long speed, that off to the races doesn't end up in being a touchdown a whole lot. But again, pros and cons, I still love this dude. Breaks tackles, 7.2 elite. That just goes into all the things I've been saying. Ability in the open field is a very, very good to almost elite grade. And that, again, that more so encompasses his ability to make people miss, his ability to, you know, find as many yards as he can possibly get. Listen, I've probably already stated and restated his biggest con. I think I've, you know, hopefully given you a good picture of what he is. I think he is a great all-around back. I think he is a borderline elite all-around back. He is a guy who is just so much fun to watch. And really, I try to compare him to, you know, what I saw last year with Etienne. I probably, you know, for me last year I had Etienne and then Najee, and I don't really know how I would have graded them. I don't have a clear picture of, you know, if I would have had them higher than those guys. They would have been the same realm. That is truly what he is. He is, you know, among the top running backs in the class, and belongs in that kind of conversation for sure. I haven't really done a whole lot of research on where he is ranked on other sites or anything, but to me, I don't think you're going to see a lot of debate. Won't surprise me if there's other guys in the class that are favored. I certainly like a lot of the other guys that I've watched at least, but this dude is legit in my opinion. I do believe, you know, he's going to go to a Miami Dolphins who doesn't have a top end, you know, RB1 type of guy. I think he could go to any number of teams like that. Atlanta Falcons at the top of the second round. You know, teams like that make a lot of sense to me. I don't have a good feel for, you know, which teams are going to be targeting a top end running back, which teams are a running back away. A little bit too early to tell with stuff like that, with the playoffs still going on as of recording this video. But at the end of the day, we have a guy who I think is going to be a borderline elite prospect and the top of his position group when it comes draft time. All right, guys, that's all I have. If you are interested in draft profiles every single week, you know, click that like button. I don't know if like button even matters anymore. Not up to date on the whole YouTube thing, but maybe it is. I don't know. But subscribe for sure. I know that's important. Really appreciate it. Listen, last year at this time is really when I grew my channel for the first time, and then NFL season came along, kind of hit a little bit of a lull because draft season isn't too big, and that's really what I'm into the most. We're back. Draft season's back. I'm here. Mock Draft Monday every single Monday if you're interested in that. Draft profiles a couple times a week. Hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. I really do appreciate it. Hey, and let me know in the comments what you think about them. All right.